Hey guys, how's it going? July 23rd, 2021. And back on. I was on last night. It was kind of weird. Last night was one of these weird. I had the most. I don't know if I'd say I'd have the most opportune time to do something, but it was really weird. And I think I've felt this way for some time. I really have. And it's not a depression or anything like that. I know that. I know what depression's like. I have said for a while now that I've had, when I'm at work, I'm in my element because I know what's expected out of me. There's enough challenges, surprises, whatever, and everything's fine. Now I can tell you right now, the last what has it been, about a couple hours, because we were doing YouTubing. Emmett was down here. He's gone up for the night, but he was down here, and I cooked supper or whatever, and watched some wrestling YouTube, and then we went right back into American Truck Simulator again. I was in there last night. Took me a while. I wasn't too sure if I was going to go into it or not, because it was kind of weird. I don't know if it was a feeling like of not sadness, but a feeling of I really felt that I was going to do something. I felt, yeah, this is my way back into trains. I can just do it this way, and then you start thinking about these things, and I visualize a lot of things, and I think visualizing, you could say it's over. Some people could say it's overthinking, but I really start picturing what it is I like or what it is I look forward to, and there's been times where I can't visualize something because I don't know what to expect. Classic example, my vacation. I knew what to I was pretty sure I knew what to expect out of Sudbury. It was beyond my expectations. That was fairly local. Perry Sound, below my expectations. That was even further local. Just nothing happening. Well, that was just because Canadian Pacific wasn't running. Now, of course, like today I want to talk about trains, but I just want to preface this before I talk about this, because that trip was centered around prototype trains and just exploring and prototype trains. That's the two things Emmett and I like to do. Ideal vacation, although I think the traveling's getting to me, because the further you go, the more tired you is. It doesn't matter how much hours you reduce it. It just eventually, when you have a trip, there's some times where you just want to relax. And we had a couple days there. Thunder Bay was actually somewhat impressive. Even the place we were at was impressive, but the trains were not. And I don't think I would be going back to Fort Frances again. It's cool to say we've been there. I have no plans on going back to Fort Frances. It is what it is. I could say I've been there, just like I don't have plans to go back to Colorado. I have plans on going to other places on the way, but not so much Colorado. I don't really have plans on going to Chicago itself, or at least where we were, Rochelle, as much as Rochelle was cool. So, but visualizing, the exploring part, you don't have to worry about visualizing so much. You can, in places that you've been, so you take a trip and you can visualize what it's like. And sometimes you can visualize cool things, and other times you can visualize stuff and it's just like, well, wait a minute, maybe that's not so great. I was looking forward to a lot of different areas on my trip because I could visualize it. I knew what to expect. I knew what to expect for traffic. Although the traffic wasn't as high as normal, it was still above expectations just because of some of the views and some of the things we got to discover in and around the Sudbury area. So it was nice. But visualization's a big thing. But anyways, I want to talk about trains today, and the reason why I preface with all that, I don't even know why I was thinking about that. I guess it's, yeah, because this really has trains, and it really has to do with visualization. What is it? What is it that I see? I know when I look at these screenshots, I think they're cool. I'm glad that I took them. I want to take more. I've never been one to do railroad photography because for me it's just like, okay, well, there's a bunch of pictures and you put them up on a website and you just go through them. But having them on a desktop is really neat. I like being able to relax sometimes and go through it. Or if I'm at work, I have the same screenshots going, except I have two screens at work, so it actually causes issues. This one was really cool, and this was a lower picture. This was from the drone, but it was right by a bridge actually. Wasn't that long ago either. So there's a lot of cool things in there. So yeah, it's just one of those things where when you visualize it, you start to get, like, for example, I'm looking forward to this weekend. I know I'm going to fly this weekend. I can visualize that. I know what that's going to be like. I'm not going to worry too much whether the traffic levels. I know the traffic levels are a little bit better on Sunday than they are Saturdays, so we've kind of planned for that. However, we probably are going to be going out both days. And the focus will probably be staying around Niagara. I don't think there's anything else going on, at least not right now. We've got a 3-day weekend coming up. I may do something on one of those days. We'll have to wait and see. But it doesn't have to always be about trains. It could be, the canal or just other picturesque areas. And so I still don't know sometimes what it is about trains that I like. I can't explain it. I remember we used to sit up at a Bayview Junction, which is right in the middle of Botanical Gardens, and there's a pedestrian bridge there. And we used to sit up there, and they'd ask, people go by. The one time, I remember somebody asked me if we were bird watching. I said, no, we're watching trains. And I don't know if it was that same person or somebody else, but they asked, what do you find interesting about trains? That is one of the most interesting questions, because I don't know how to answer that one. I don't know. The sound, maybe, the transportation aspect. I think the transportation aspect for me is a big one, because transportation and logistics has always been something. It's part of my career. It's always been part of me. So I enjoy that. I enjoy shipping and receiving when it's not too stressful, or stressful all the time. For me right now, it's actually it's a moderate position where you have those. You have organized chaos sometimes, I guess you'd like to call it, but most of the time it's been fairly calm recently, which is a nice change because it's been a busy year for us. We've continued to been busy through all this crap going around, and all these shutdowns and shortages of supplies and all kinds of other things. So maybe that's made things busier. I don't know. Hard to say, but things are fine. So yeah, prototype. So those are usually the things that will make me lean towards what is it that I'm looking for? What do I want to accomplish in my spare time? Is there something that and then I can stretch back. I have been involved with, like, I'll go into the simulations in a minute. That kind of covers the prototype. The other thing too, my son was mentioning up in Belleville, they have a web camera, and I said he hadn't answered me, but I should have mentioned to him, but he'll eventually reply to my email. But two questions I had: was it 24/7, and how much is it? Because one, if it's 24/7, that's a good thing. Number two, how much it is. If it's the right price, I might be willing to give it a try and see, because you can monitor ATCS. You can do virtual rail fanning with ATCS and having the camera, and for me, that's okay. Especially when the weather gets different, and or you can't be at certain areas, or you're getting tired of going through the same area and watching the same trains, etc. There was a time this weekend, or as we got closer to it, that I kind of visualized getting more information about Niagara, trying to get more details in. I went back and forth, so I'll get to that in a second. Despite the fact that I've had that virtual railroad experience for years, in one form or another, whether it be dispatching or running trains, switching, even railroad tycoons to some extent. There's so many different simulations that I like besides trains, though. And case in point, American Truck Simulator. One of the coolest, I find, simulations, beautiful to look at, and just a lot of fun. And believe it or not, I have another simulation in mind. It would be the first simulation outside of American Truck Simulator that I've been thinking about, and that's a sailing simulator. And it's fairly expensive, actually. It's over the $50 range. But how much did I pay for Train Simulator? Maybe that's something that I have to consider. So I want to do it where it's fun and challenging and scenic, runs on my computer fairly well, and just have fun with it. So, I mean, the closest thing that I came to that was the fishing Barents Sea, but that was kind of fun because there's a lot of it. I love that kind of thing. I love that. I've even thought about that more and more. If I am ever going to develop something, which who knows, at some point I might. It's just I haven't had enough of a desire to do it. So that's why I visualize. I think about it, then I visualize it, then I think to myself, is not so much procrastination, although there's some for sure, but I think to myself, is it worth the struggle? Because it's going to be a struggle regardless. It's going to be a struggle. Is it worth to go through the struggle for the reward? And the answer that I keep getting is no. And when it's not as much of a struggle, I'll visualize that, and a lot of times the answer I come back with, I'd probably get bored of it. And that'll lead me to what I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. But first, let's move on to the model side of things. The last club I belonged to, which I'm in good standing, although with this COVID crap, I mean, who knows, wearing masks, vaccinated, whatever. I mean, I can go, don't get me started on that, you know, because I'll probably piss off the majority of you, and I don't care. But because I don't want to piss you off, I'd rather you listen to me. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't need to prove a point or talk about anything, or, you know, that's not what this channel's about. Or that's not what I want to talk about. I'm so burnt out with. I mean, it's just I'm so burnt out with the whole COVID thing, and everything that surrounds it, and I'm burnt out with politics. I'm burnt out with all that stuff. I don't even want to think about it. Half the time, I just like, the only thing I want to do is two things. I either want to buy a sailboat, learn to do it, and sail around the world and get out of Canada, or buy a property maybe up north, northern Ontario, or somewhere a long way from the city, where I have a fair amount of land and I can just become self-sufficient. Those are pipe dreams. But who knows? Maybe if I learn certain things, maybe it's not too late to try it. And my son seems to be more equipped to... He knows a lot of this stuff more than me. It's kind of funny, especially when it comes to fishing and hunting, which is really interesting because he never got it from me, I can tell you that. But anyways, model railroading. So the last club I belonged to was a club out of Kitchener-Waterloo area. It's about an hour and a half away. Like I said, since all these goofy things have been going on, I considered that. I thought, well, it'd be kind of fun to do that. There's a reason why I left the club. There's two reasons. One, there was travel, and number two, I was heavily into Run 8. And I was getting everything I needed out of Run 8 at the time. So it gave me not only the club experience, but the one-to-one. It gave me everything that I needed in a train simulator. Everything that I ever wanted in a train simulator. It just kept getting better and better, and then it stopped. And I had that peak. It all went downhill. So model railroading is still a thing, but at the same time, I'm not interested in model railroading anymore. It's it's something. It's an expensive hobby. You can do it much better virtually, one way or another. But I'll get into how you can, and maybe it's better than. At least you yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's anything there really for me. And yes, I can join a session and all that, and run and operate. It gets boring real quick. Back at the time, it used to be kind of fun. But once you get a taste of something, you want to improve upon it, or you want to see what's next. You look forward to it, like you're really into something, and you can't wait to see what happens. So that leads me to the virtual. So it's going to be a good one. And I don't care if I piss people off. I don't care if I burn bridges. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. It's one of those things where it is what it is. There's nothing I can do to change it. The only thing I can do to change it is slowly, methodically, step by step, like pulling teeth, learn how to build a train simulator myself. The problem with that is technology is always changing, and who knows how long desktops are going to be a thing. This could have something to do with the swing of everything, and who knows what other technology may come in its place that will virtual experiences and all this other stuff come into play that might do something else. So, who knows? But for me, at least at this moment, I can't visualize a way. And every time I think about something and I jump the gun, I talk about it to you guys. I tell you how I'm going to do it. A lot of things with me is ego. It's like I want to be that solution. I want to be able to be that solution. Because I think we need a solution. The community is dead. Whether it be my community, I don't care if I have 500 plus subscribers. I don't have much going on right now. And that's because I'm just talking. I'll talk, no action. And I don't blame anybody. And despite the fact I do forums, and you got one guy over in Train Sim or whatever, so it's like, oh yeah, yeah. And of course, these are fanboys that, Run 8 fanboys or whatever else want to have their little club, and, they're the be-all, end-all of everything and all this other stuff. It's just like, whatever. I don't want to be part of that, nor would I be accepted anyways. I never was. And even when I was around there, I was never accepted. I was an outsider. So that's how I feel. I felt like an outsider. Where I wasn't an outsider was RTS and the servers that became part of the RTS family. I wasn't an outsider then. I was an inspiration. Those servers are still going on, so at least I have a legacy. That's good. If that helps my so-called ego or whatever, I can still say I was the first one, blah, blah, blah. When I had a shot recently, and it was all ego, you get one fanboy say, oh no, well this isn't going to be coming anytime soon. I don't know what that came out of. I don't know what he knows. He could be talking shit. He could be talking out of his ass. He may know something. I really don't care. It's all hearsay as far as I'm concerned. Whether they're working on something, whether they're not, whether they're this close, that close, it'll be ready when it's ready. I'll be dead when I'm dead. I said that the other day on the forum. I'll be dead when I'm dead. Life moves on. And I cannot dwell on the past, and I do a lot of it, unfortunately. Because when I take a look at pictures like this, not necessarily of, I can adapt. It doesn't have to be my area. It doesn't have to be my railroad. Heck, when I was at the Model Railroad Club up in Sudbury, of all places, it's kind of funny because it was focused on Sudbury. So that's why there was kind of a familiarity with it, but it was cool. It's a neat place, and it's nothing like it once was, because that was the 70s. Oh my God, what is going on? Hold on. I hear somebody. What's up?
Yeah, I'm just coming down to see if you have your phone. Because Mom isn't home yet, so. Figured she'd be out for a walk or something, so.
Mom hasn't yet.
Mom's out.
Okay.
Is,
the phone. What do you mean, my phone?
No, I mean like your cell phone, because I think you have her number on there, because I don't have her number.
It's on my car. I'm doing a live stream.
Okay. Can I go get it? Because I don't know where she is.
Do you know how to open my car without setting the alarm and all that crap?
I'm gonna do that.
All right. Take the keys. Go on upstairs. It's called a car. It's called a car key.
Yeah, is it the bottom lock or is it the top lock?
Huh?
Is it the bottom lock or the top
Come here.
lock?
So, I see, because you can't tell.
Yeah.
You'll see these flash here. When you push this one,
yeah,
It'll flash yellow. Make sure you lock this up afterwards.
Yeah.
Don't lock it when you're inside it. The car alarm will come off. The car alarm goes off. Good luck.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, you coming back to bring my key back down?
Yeah, I'll come back.
All right. Grab the cell phone, lock it up, bring it, and bring me the cell phone with the keys later.
Okay.
All right, talk to you later.
Yeah.
Bye. Guess his mom's not home. Yeah, well, probably worried about her. Don't blame her. So yeah, what was I saying? I heard the footsteps coming down. I'm like, what the heck? Yeah. So I totally lost my train of thought. Let's see if somebody else can help me. I thought something was wrong with the thing. Okay. So yeah. So a lot of ego going on. He's going to come down and he'll interrupt me another time. A lot of ego on my side. A lot of pride. A lot of wanting to make a solution happen. A lot of me wanting to, make it happen all over again. So when they said, or he said, that it's not going to happen anytime soon and you're not going to see it and blah, 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 when referring to AI dispatching. AI dispatching is something that the single players really want. There's a lot of people who would really love to see it. Now, I could bug the Run 8 team and kiss their behind and try to be goody-goody with it, because that's just the way I think it would work. Now, I've approached them. They're approachable. It's not that they're not approachable. It's fine. But judging, the person that I need to talk to is John. And for me personally, and I know a lot of people, are fine with all that, John and I have never really talked that much. It's kind of weird. Brad and I have talked a lot. I've spoke to a lot of developers actually, whether it be the Northeast, the Southeast. I've been able to have a good conversation with those guys. But Dale, I mean, him and I have talked quite a bit. Dale's helped me out. Dale's was a huge help in getting me, not only getting me, I think he was the one that got me pointed towards Run 8. He was the one that introduced me. He was the one that thought, yeah, this would all work. And it was a perfect match. Brad and I have gone back and forth. We've had our differences. We've got along, all that stuff. And I'm not saying anything, I'm not saying that there's any personal issues between John and I or anything like that. There's not. As far as I know, there's not, anyways. But I tried one time before approaching, where it says, well, you could approach. There was one time before, I don't know if we were good terms, bad terms, whatever the hell was the case with the Run 8 team, I don't know. But I do remember trying to figure out how to do the AI, trying to figure out how to do the external dispatcher link. And the way it was explained to me, he was too busy. He didn't really go over it too much. He did mention to one time, here he comes. He did mention one time about having C#, I think.
No.
You got the phone and all that?
Yeah, I have it. You don't have her cell.
Huh?
You don't have her cell.
I don't have the cell.
No, you don't have her cell phone.
Yes, I do. Oh my God, you're a pain in the ass. How do you know I don't have the cell?
Because I checked through your list of people that you have contacts for, and you only have her home phone.
Okay. I don't think so.
I checked.
Sorry, guys. Emmett's in a crisis here. Mrs. Mommy. Why'd you turn the damn phone off? I could have got it. When you go to the phone number, right?
Mm-hmm.
See that arrow?
Ah.
There's your cell.
Okay.
Get lost. Love you too.
See ya. Love you. Bye.
See ya. Stay up there with the phone for a while.
Okay.
Keep disrupting my train of thought. I don't know where I'm at now. I knew that was going to happen. Kids. Look at that. So now he's got the phone number or whatever. Tell him to keep the phone for a while. Bring it down tomorrow. I don't care. So yeah. Anyways. So it is what it is. I like I said, there's as far as I know, there's no personal issues between John and I. I don't know if he's taken something personally, or at one point or another, or he was. I mean, he's the programmer. So if there was something along the lines of, say for example, I think the first time I got kicked out of the beta team was when I was making a big deal about the explosions. And for me, it was a big deal because it was something I didn't know how to get around. But then I found a way. And the crazy thing was the solution was the one that got kicked me out of the beta team, because it showed an explosion. I captured it, but then I showed them how to get around it. And that whole getting around it was the key to why I did the video. It was a misunderstanding, I guess, whatever. Came around for the second time. I can't even remember why I was out for the second time. Who knows? It's not like I don't think I asked to be part of the beta team again. I think I just somehow that happened. I can't remember. Obviously, it wasn't that important because it's not in my memory bank. So, whatever the case may be after that. But I always remember that first time. So that is what it was. So I've been on the record. I don't know how many times I have to say Run 8 is the best train simulator on the planet. It is. But it's disappointing what has happened. And I thought somebody was going to see... I thought a few things were going to happen. Number one, I thought version 3 would finally come out. And then we would see what would happen, because the landscape would start changing. Once version 3 comes out, suddenly now you've got people who are in version 2, and you got people who are in version 3. And the reason why I did that survey the other day, I was curious to see how many people were just going to jump onto version 3. I imagine a lot of people will, because they support the team, they want to, do whatever, and they just, there's some people, though, that are like me who wouldn't jump so quick. Version 1 to version 2 was, for the most part, a no-brainer, but some people suck on to version 1 for reasons as far as getting into some of the data and being able to do different things. Version 2 to version 3, that's not as consequential as far as I'm concerned. What I'm more interested in, out of all of that, because number one, I don't think version 3 is going to exceed my expectations. My expectations are fairly low. Do I expect it to be better graphics, better game engine? Sure. Do I care about, turntables or transfer tables? Hey, I like the idea of movable bridges. That's cool, but it's not enough to make me get into Run 8 again. The only thing that interests me right now is those smaller regions. And they were talked about a couple years ago. And it's never come around. I thought for sure That was something that was going to be coming around, but apparently version 3 is too important and they don't care about that. All they're doing is focusing on version 3. So whatever it is that is taking whenever it's ready, when it's ready, it's been a long time. And I've been out of Run 8 for a year and a half. I waited around for a while, thinking that it was imminent, yeah, imminent. But it didn't happen. So, it is what it is. In all fairness, versions should be a free upgrade. People should not have to pay again for a few extra bells and whistles. No, I think they should be paid. Depending upon what it is. I don't know what version 3 is going to be like. It all depends. It all depends what it is. Nobody nobody knows except probably the team and the beta team, as well as people that have gotten some information here and there. And obviously information is coming out, and there is talk about it if you are connected. And this whole, well, you got to be connected type thing, it's one thing to have a beta. I understand the whole thing with the beta, and being part of a beta team as far as a non-disclosure agreement was a complete joke. There's nothing I knew that nobody else knew. Now, I can understand right now having, but then again, I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is the point of a non-disclosure agreement when there's ever been competition? And you could say, oh, well, competition, was whatever new, flavor of the month was coming along at one time and went belly up. I can't remember the name. Was it? I can't remember it. I know everybody at the Dams forum was all excited about it, and then it didn't happen, and then he went back to racing, or whatever the hell he did. But and then the majority of the people who were on the Dams forum floated on over to Run 8 Depot. I wasn't liked on the Dams forum. Not in the least. I was considered the enemy. I was basically anything that could be said about me to tarnish what I had to say or make me sound like I'm, this and that and whatever. It's kind of funny because somebody wanted to take me to court at one time about doing something or other character or malice, or I don't know what the hell it was. I was just like, at first I took it seriously, and then I thought, yeah, right, bring it on. But whatever. Everything I was saying was the truth, so, So I wasn't spreading lies or anything like that about Mr. So-and-so, which will remain nameless. I keep people, certain people, I just keep them nameless. Doesn't matter. They're irrelevant. And was there a legacy that was left behind from that server? No, I don't know. Not really. Most people today don't even know what that server was. Just like RTS. Most people, RTS has a legacy only because, I guess, I shouldn't say it. Well, Depot was still around, I think. No, I guess Depot brought its server up after Dams, so there was a legacy, I suppose, but it was never really associated. I think you just had all the people from Dams coming over. I don't know. Beats the hell out of me. I guess, something had to replace it, There was that need or that desire or whatever. And my legacy is I still have a server out there that was originated through RTS, and At least one. I don't think there's a second one. I don't know if the Southeast server is up or not. And if it is, it's very small. So I don't know what's going on with that. But, legacies and all this other crap, it's the past. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And, whether there's hard feelings or whatever. I mean, I got expelled. Or not expelled, I'm sorry. I got, no, I've never been expelled. I was suspended once for getting into a fight with somebody. This is just a goofy little side story. Off of school property, and these guys were tormenting me for a particular reason that I not care to discuss, but it was something that certainly did happen, and they, oh man, you talk about bullying. I used to be friends with all of them, and one day, the one guy I had a falling out with, so the rest of them all basically ganged up on me, like because he was the leader of the friendship. So whatever he did, everybody followed. So they couldn't just try to get us tell us try to mend the differences between us or anything like that. No, they were with him the whole time. They were never with me. I just happened to be somebody who was convenient at the time. Needless to say, long story short, years later we bowled together. Once, and we bowled in a tournament together. It was a pairs tournament or whatever, and we both had bowled for years. That's how we met and we knew each other. And this is the person that I ended up having the fight with. Not the person that was the leader of this group. This was some little sidekick that was trying to, be a smartass and try to impress the guy that I was originally going after. Anyways, long story short, it doesn't matter if they were your enemy at one time or not. Time is time. The past is the past. Things change. And unfortunately, with virtual railroads, right now we're kind of in this bizarre, like, take a look at the landscape of virtual railroads. So what do you got? You got the top of the food chain, as far as I'm concerned, is Run 8. And they're supposedly developing version 3. Still coming along or whatever. I keep saying supposedly because, at this point, I'll believe it when I see it. I'm not saying that they're not trying. I'm not saying, I mean, trust me, this isn't easy stuff. I mean, this is much closer to rocket science than easy stuff. So you got that. Then you got the flavor of the flavor of the year versions that come out, like it's EA Sports, which they change very little and have a new, you name the title. I mean, you can even put trains in among that. So you got all these versions that come out. Oh yeah, you got to push a new version. I'll hand Run 8 for this. It's been quite a few years since version 2 now, which is crazy. I think the time between version 1 and version 2 is shorter now, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong on that one. So yeah, you get to that, and it's just like it's a bizarro land. It's really, and then you look at something like American Truck Simulator, which came off the heels of Euro Truck Simulator, which still has, I mean, they got 2 states coming out right now. They're in progress. I got every other state now. I've bought every state. I got out of it for a while when I was doing a lot of driving at work, and then all of a suddenly I got into it again. And I started enjoying it again. It was weird because I guess It wasn't my ideal pick. I would rather be doing train simulations, but there wasn't really anything there for me. So you're in that bizarro world, and then suddenly there it is. Hey, Bill. How's it going? Nah, not another $50. Well, $50 for me, Quincy. I mean, when I look at $50, I mean, I'm willing to spend to fork down. Put it this way. Well, at least, I mean, $50 US. It's a lot more in Canadian. So, yeah, I can see the point, but for what you get out of it, it all depends on what you get out of it. Who's to even say that will even be backwards compatible? As far as I know, it's supposed to be. But yeah, and that's why I'm not going to be running for it. I don't care. Whenever that hits, whenever that comes down, if and when that comes down, we'll see what happens. Until then, I ain't worried about it. It is what it is. I really, I know I keep talking about it, but the thing is, I keep going back to that because that's the standard that I need to either improve upon or I need to find a replacement. It ain't there. I've tried. I've tried train. I almost went back to trains. I thought this week was going to be the week that I was going to get back into trains and just say, let's do this, let's do that. And then I started thinking, why the hell did you get out of Run 8 to be? Why did you finally give up on Run 8? Was because you were tired of running stuff by yourself. The only difference, well, there's two big differences. Number one, you get to have a little bit better of an AI system, but you're limited to what you can do with the train's AI. No matter how good it is and how much better it isn't perfect, and it's not totally 100% the type of AI system that I would want to have. In fact, if I known how to get into the external dispatcher code, then I could probably put a much better AI system than what Trains has. And it would be a fluid system with RTS. I could do that. The problem is, I got two problems. Number one, I got this stupid gray dot. I haven't been bothered. For all I know, it could be a green dot now. It could be a red dot. It could be a purple dot. I really don't know. I don't care. What happened with me was I realized I need to know the protocol. I need to know everything. I need to know the handshakes. I would have to go in. I would have to get... I would have to get a data analyzer back in, which I've had them in the past, but I would have to monitor that I basically would have to test the hell out of it just to monitor it and figure it out for myself. Is it plausible? Can it be done? Yes. Would it require a lot of testing? Which means basically me running a Run 8 for a long time and doing different things and having clients on and all this other crap. That ain't happening. I'm not doing that. I'm not going through all that trouble just to get AI dispatching in. That's my ego. My ego says, yeah, I could do it. That was a response to dipshit. That's all that was. That triggered me enough to say, you're not going to see AI dispatching? I can make it happen. I can make it happen. I know I can make it happen. That's the crazy thing is I know I can make it happen, yet there's this disconnect there. And people say, "Oh yeah, you can just call and do this and stuff like that." Put it this way: Maybe this is ego speaking again, but if they were that serious about it and they wanted to do something right now just to keep their enthusiasm alive, they'd come see me and say, "Here, this is how you do it." You know, give me the information. I mean, put it this way: give me the information. I'll tell you why. Call my bluff. I dare him to. Anybody who's got that information, whether it be, and there was a time where I spoke to somebody who had the knowledge, who knows how it works, and I was getting quite a bit of help, and then all of a sudden it just dried up. So I dare them. You don't think I can do it? Call my bluff on it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to give me information, whether it's some competition or whether or not. I would make Run 8 better in its current form. That's all there is to it. So if I can make Run 8 better in its current form in version 2 while people are waiting for version 3 and make it kind of cool, maybe give them an idea that they could possibly use for version 3 and show them how it can be done, then hey, there it is. But apparently, from what I understand, if I read between the lines, they're not interested in that. They have other things that they're doing. I don't know what. I don't know what they're focusing on. Nobody knows. Well, I shouldn't say nobody knows. Somebody knows. And we're not privileged to find out. So like I said, caught in this limbo. And because I'm in this limbo, it's a depressing place to be in. The writing was on the wall it's okay to fail. It's okay to change things up and try different ways of doing things. And it's okay for me to all of a sudden get some brain fart idea where I decide to, hey, I'm going to do it again. The problem, what I've done all along, is I get excited, I announce it, and then I say I'm going to do it, and then it's just like, oh, maybe this isn't a good idea. So I basically, lack of a better term, blow my load, and instead of just shutting up and waiting to produce some of the goods, I start going on and saying what I'm going to do. And then I just put all that pressure on myself to produce it, because not only are the people who support me am I letting down, I'm giving the other people who can't stand me more ammunition to have a good laugh. And it's stupid. I don't care what they think about me. Couldn't care less. But it's just, you're giving them more ammunition. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to give them more ammunition. You want to basically show them up if you want to do anything. Like I said, I don't care personally, but just to basically shut them the hell up and prove them, basically egg on their face type thing, that's more fun. Instead, what you're doing is you're feeding right into the trolls. Stupid. Just shut the hell up. And that's the problem, is I'm stubborn, I have a lot of pride, and I know that virtual train simulation can be a lot better. And I know where we were at, and it's kind of, you can tell in my voice, it's just like it's tough, because I have to let this go. I just have to. I have to just basically say, okay, take a step away again. Start doing the things. And Quincy keeps telling me, oh yeah, you'll be racking Run 8. So let's see. Because Quincy said that. He said it a few times. And if anything, Quincy, what I would say to you is if you know me well enough, you would know that I am drifting further away from it. I talk a lot about it because, yes, would I get back into Run 8 again? Yes, I would, if it's the right thing. It's got to be the right thing. It's got to be the right environment. It's got to be the right circumstances. A lot of things have to happen. And who knows if these smaller regions are going to be even close. Let me just read the comments here. Hundreds of dollars on Run 8 DLC. Now here comes version 3 and none of it works. We are stuck with hundreds of dollars of vaporware. Well, I'm stuck with $100 of vaporware I'm not doing nothing with. But anyways, that's okay. I got my money's worth out of it. So I don't worry about it. I got my money's worth a long time ago, and that's including whatever download content I had, even the ones that I didn't really get too much out of. It's not a big deal for me. I understand, everybody's gonna value something differently. So that's cool. Yeah, and Bell's like, if it has an AI dispatcher, I'm there. Like. That is, I might at a one last try. I mean, I still go on to Train Sim all the time. I love to rock the boat. I love to just basically rattle their friggin' cage. Like, I troll. I literally, and I don't mean to troll, but I really do. I just basically just keep on, and for me it's a sport, and it's not so much of a sport. Like, I'm not the type of person that goes out there and trolls people, but I rock their cages. I love doing it because that's all I got that's left. That's the only thing I have left in Run 8. While some people are still having fun or doing whatever they're doing on the mega servers, I don't care. It's like, that ain't for me. That's not the kind of server I want to be part of. If there's ever another server that rose up and did the kind of things that I like, and perhaps then it would be kind of cool, and then suddenly it would be okay. What did I get into the other day? I got into something. I just remembered something. Oh yeah, American Truck Simulator. I got into the multiplayer the other day, and I just went on a server, and they were talking back and forth and all that other stuff, and they were too busy talking with each other or whatever, but I'm not a big fan of it. Scott and I might actually run in it eventually whenever we get together or whatever. There's some downsides to it too, because you can't do the rest stops, and this whole convoy thing's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of lame. But what's cool about it is they have built-in communication. And I thought to myself, what a novel idea. Something that I thought of a long time ago. Everybody's talking about TeamSpeak. Oh, yeah, TeamSpeak this, and then there's that other one that's out there. I don't know what the hell, which one it is. Is it Twitch? I don't know. Could it be Twitch, or could it be... I don't know, it's one of those. It's not I think I had it one time. Not that long ago, and I got rid of it. Because it was a pain in the ass. But that's my idea of a communication system. Just press a button and start talking. How simple is that? And the crazy thing is, set that up so that you're on the channels and you're not in a party line. And I mean, American Truck Simulator is a party line, which defeats the purpose for me. But to be able to communicate with people in your area and only your area, and as you go further away, the signal starts degrading. Or, yeah, degrading, is that a word? I don't know. Starts getting weaker. Anyways, Discord. Yes, I had a Discord. Discord's a pain in the ass. I got rid of it. I don't know what it was about Discord. It was doing something I didn't like. And I just said, okay, enough of that crap. My son's got it. My son still has a Discord server or something like that. I'm like, yeah, okay. Not for me. I'll go back to my email. I don't need that. I can go back to my YouTube live stream and listen to myself talk. And, yeah, Discord's not it. I don't mind TeamSpeak. I use TeamSpeak at work. Or not TeamSpeak, sorry. Yeah, TeamSpeak. What am I talking about? TeamSpeak I hate. Microsoft Teams. Different thing. I knew it was a team something. Yeah, Teams at work is pretty cool. That I have fun with that. Those are the type to get involved in that stuff. But let's see what we got here. So, but I do see and understand why you drifted away from it. We all walked away from it. We all had our reasons why. Yeah. For me, when you look back, and I've said this before, everything was cool, and we've gone over this again. I might as well go over it again because it really cements where I feel right now. It didn't get any better than I remember. I mean, my memories are not that great, but I remember key moments, and I remember being on the Southwest server, and I was dispatching, and I was doing a live stream, and I was just sitting up at the Y by Barstow, and we just had realistic traffic coming in and out of there. We had like a dozen people on or something like that, and it was cool. It was really cool. The AI dispatching. I wish. The actual AI, which was a step above version 1. You got to remember, that was the first real good step, and it was awesome. It worked exactly the way it had to, and the territories, we didn't have LA yet, so no Seligman, no LA, no what do you call it? No Bakersfield sub, and it was great. Hello, how's it going? So it was really, really cool. And I remember it was the ultimate. It wasn't too long after that time, because I remember that session, and I remember how cool it was on the Southwest server that night. And I couldn't wait for the next one, and everything was. Eventually, I remember things started changing, because once LA hit, and we've talked about it before, LA was gifted to me. I got into LA, and I it was gifted to me first, and then I was like, I really wasn't interested in LA. I heard it was coming, but it was gifted to me anyways. And it was very appreciative. Ski was the one who gifted it to me. I haven't spoke to him in about a year now, but I have spoke to him after Run 8, and he's doing good. He's still over on the States side. I think he's got a girlfriend again. He moved somewhere. I think he moved back over to around Rochester, I think. I don't think he's in the Buffalo area anymore, but yeah, he gifted me LA. It was really generous gift, and I tried to make something out of LA, but the fact is, when you brought LA in, and it didn't matter whether I had LA or not, the fact of the matter was, LA was becoming something that everybody was getting. So whether or not whether or not the server had LA or not, I was already into the Southwest server by then. I don't even think it was my server anymore. It was the Southwest server, like I said. And my fondest memory was the Southwest server. It wasn't RTS. It was the RTS, what became RTS, which was Southwest server, and which still exists today. And the Southwest server has every single route, every single piece of rolling stock. They are modeling, which is kind of weird because I don't know if they're going to be using every piece of stuff because they went back in there. They backdated their errors or something like that. They are running. I forget what the hell they're running. I don't know what era they're running, but at least some of those engines should not be part of it, as far as I know. I think they're into this. I think they're into the era where they have Southern Pacific and those things. But I forget which year it is though. Be selling to me, but not a big deal. It's just that at least they're trying something, and they're limiting the number of they're limiting some of the yard operations, like the intermodal operations and a few other things. It's hard to go back though in era. Yeah, I mean, Run 8's good to do it because the equipment is there. Eras are really weird because you got different track configurations. Even that track configuration that's currently in Run 8 is outdated to its modern thing, but that's not such a bad thing because once you start getting triple track and all that other stuff, it's kind of crazy. I like the era that I like the way the track is, even with the LA's not. Personally, I don't care about LA. LA's something that I wish. I understand why it's there, but you need AI dispatching, and as far as I'm concerned, there's not a server. I don't give a damn how good their servers are. Their servers can't handle it. They just can't. Doesn't matter how much they improve. Doesn't matter what they do. They cannot handle the workloads that are involved. LA is a friggin' huge workload. Even Cajon was pushing it. Needles not so much. Needles is not, and this is why Mojave and Needles was always fine. When Cajon came in, but we had Cajon, we were still working, and we were able to keep Cajon up. So that's why I was at the peak then. That was perfect because you had your two lines and you had another. As long as you had a good group of people, you were able to run the locals and keep them going, and have your sessions in between and run a few locals. But a lot of locals were running, and the yards were running, and everything was going. It was pretty cool. And Mojave, not Mojave. What am I talking about? Oh, it's been too long. My brain's farting on this one. Oh, Jesus, Murphy. West Colton. So West Colton didn't really have a purpose until LA came. So that was kind of weird. But West Colton could act like a staging or whatever. West Colton didn't have to even do anything, to be honest. It was just something. And in fact, it was kind of crazy because we were trying to find things to do for West Colton to make it interesting. But so I mean that after that though, once you started getting into locals, you were pushing it. And somebody had mentioned to me, oh yeah, you should try Bakersfield sub, and if you want to run it yourself and all this other stuff. Problem with running something yourself, it gets boring after a while. You can only do so many things. Dispatching yourself is stupid. It's just stupid. I know some people do it and some people don't mind doing it. Hey, if you like it, great. I'm not telling anybody what they should do, but for me, it just feels stupid. Um, and trying to run everything yourself, um, it's not so bad in trains, but that's kind of what kept turning me off this week, and I didn't know what it was. I kind of like the way my memory is sometimes is I forget. I'll forget things that aren't important, but sometimes I forget those reasons why I was kind of drifting away from something to begin with. So I think that's half my problem is my memory is limited. I don't know if it's limited capacity or limited stupid medications I'm on. Limited capacity or limited accessibility or bandwidth, maybe. Probably bandwidth. Too much going on in my brain. It's kind of like a brain fog. And the older I get, the more I feel as though it's not dementia, but at least I hope not. But I feel as though it's only going to get worse over time. But give me a second, guys. I mean, more brain farts, that's for sure. But otherwise, I'm healthy, so just my brain screwed up. My brain's been damaged since probably since Emmett's age. Actually, before it. It's what happens when you don't have bike helmets and you have bunk beds and you decide to go head first down on the floor and multiple concussions, run yourself face first into a tree. Fun shit. And my brain, I was a tough kid, so it didn't bother me, so I didn't seem to worry about risk. And back then, concussions wasn't thought of, but man, whew. That's why I'm always with them. It's just like, take care of your head. You do not want to be on medication. But and that's what I have nocturnal. I only have nocturnal seizures. It's not that a big deal really, because I know people. Like I have a friend Paul who I was out rail fanning with him on Sunday, and he has seizures, but his are a lot worse than mine. I have nocturnal seizures. I can go off my medication. If he goes off his medication, holy crap. But the funny thing is, he doesn't have the same side effects as me. And I know people who, I also know, my supervisor at work also has seizures. And she doesn't have the same side effects as me. I have those side effects. It seems that is something that we discovered when I was off medication for a few years, because what happened was they tried to weed me off of it, thinking, yeah, you had a couple seizures at one time, your brain's probably healed, still had a regular brainwave on the left side, but other than that, I should be fine. So we were going to try to let it go and see what happens. And the seizures started coming back. And even since then, I've been on medication, and I've definitely had the seizure. I even upped the medication. So now it's even worse as far as medication wise. But I think that's as I got older and body weight. It just, who knows? I probably needed more support or whatever, but. See ya, Bill. Sorry if I missed you there. But, yeah. So, I don't know what else is there. We're losing people. Talking about my brainwaves. What are we talking about? So, yeah. That was the key. That was the fun part. Was the prime of version 2. And what's happened after that? It's pretty simple. After that, version 2, and I should have kept on going instead of talking about brainwaves. At least it would have been a concurrent thought pattern. Here's where I stand right now. For me, the Run 8 community is dead. I don't see it. My channel, I have supporters. I have some people here who I recognize, who I see, who continues to follow me. I don't give a rat's ass if I have 500 subscribers or not. I do not have 500 people. I don't even have 100 people who regularly follow me. I'd be lucky to get 50. Well, I would say who regularly follow me one way or another, which is okay. I've had people come and go. As I was telling my son tonight, when you subscribe to a channel, that doesn't mean nothing. I subscribe to all kinds of channels and don't watch videos on them anymore. So that's not a big deal. But for me, I'm in this, when it comes to virtual railroads, it's just a sad situation for me. It's that I'm not depressed, but it's depressing because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make a difference. I felt I could make a difference. I felt as though I could make small changes. I could add something to a program. I could find ways. That's all I was trying to do for, man, it seems like I've been doing it now for at least three years. First with Run 8 and slowly getting out of Run 8 and then away from Run 8. I've been away off of Run 8 for a year and a half, and yet I've been still trying to find ways of getting this to work. Not worried about version 3 so much because really I haven't really worried about version 3 for about probably a year. I was still, even after I drifted out of version 2 and stopped using Run 8, I had my rail driver with me. The reason why I kept my rail driver there was because I felt at any time it was going to come. I felt either version 3 was going to come or a smaller region was going to be announced, because I was under the impression that was what was going to happen. Never happened. And here we are now, middle of 2021. So Run 8 does not do a good job at promoting themselves. I do a good job at promoting Run 8. Apparently I also do a good job at the opposite, or at least that's what it seems that I am. Are the people over on... I got a question. And I mean, I know there's other people that do YouTube out there. I'm not the only one. I'm not the god of YouTube or anything like that for train simulations. But is there anybody else out there who are constantly supplying Run 8 stuff? Because if there is, I don't know. If it is, it's probably centric to the depot. And if that's the case, then you're missing some interesting casuals, because there's new people that are still coming, and yet either there's people who've said that they've gotten to Run 8 because of me, very recently too, I might add. And that's because I got this whole list of videos out there that have Run 8 on it, where all you have to do is go back into my video archives and find it, or you find one of the more popular ones, you do a search, and then suddenly it pulls up a video where I'm right in the middle of version 2. I could find that video. Probably if I searched hard enough, I could probably find that version 2 video where I was talking about where I was at the peak. I can find it. I'm not going to because I don't care. So that's the past. It's not a big deal. The reason why I bring the past up quite a bit, and the reason why I bring Run 8, if you don't learn from the past, what's the saying? If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it, or something like that. Yeah, that's the saying. So, Run 8 is history, as far as I'm concerned. Will version 3 come? I don't know. But Run 8 is history. There's nothing there. I don't care if Depot's breaking new records in the pandemic or whatever, and there's still another server. It means nothing to me. They are a club, a very big club. And although they seem very, very interested in getting new members all the time, they got enough people in and around to say, well, here, this is what it is. Just telling them, like, here, you should try this out because they're really cool people and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, yeah. Somebody who is into train simulations, okay, whether it be somebody who's like really high on Run 8 or whatever, should do what I do, or at least try to do what I did, or whatever, and that is have a channel and put out a lot of videos. Now, I know some people do videos, but do some tutorials, do some videos, show what it's like on the Depot. And I've seen videos on the Depot, but show what it's like. Depot has their own freaking YouTube channel, and you get the odd video here and there, but really nothing much happens with it. And yet they're the biggest thing going, because they have what's called word of mouth advertising. That's all they need, and that's what works for them. And that's all they need. They're not worried about it. They can add people at any time. They have people. Yes, they have people who are Depot, faithful, who are over on TrainSim. But there's not too many other forums. They can go over on my forum and they want to promote Depot. I don't care. Beats the hell of me. I mean, I doubt it. My forum is fairly dead at the moment, but by all means, I don't care. They can promote whatever simulator. In fact, I might open up things with the American Truck Simulator. I might even change the name of my forum, because there's this side of me that is really, really, I'm very heavy on to having a brand, and you don't want to let that go. But let's be real here. 500 subscribers sounds nice, but here comes trouble again. He's back. He's back. I hear him.
Hello.
Hello. You
Here's
back?
your phone.
Oh, you just bring the phone down?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Did you get to talk to your mommy?
No, she was there when I came up.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, see ya.
You turn my phone off?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Love you.
See ya, love you, bye.
Bye. So, American Truck Simulator, I thought about adding that, and then I'm big on the brand thing, and the reason why is because I have a legacy. RTS is Railroad Transportation Simulator. That was a legacy. I recently changed over to Railroad Transportation Simulations, but then I started thinking about it, and I really want to emphasize the transportation simulations, but I don't want to be centric to just trains, because as much as I like trains and it's one of my things, I like a lot of things. And truck simulators, transportation simulators. I like transportation simulators, so I could easily go like something like realistic transportation simulators, or realistic transportation simulations is a title of the forum, which really doesn't mean anything because I'm not doing anything other than having a forum. But it keeps that RTS because RTS is in my channel. If I was to go one step further, though, I can get right out of the whole transportation side of things, and there's a lot of genres that like going into survival stuff like that, which I've been in and out of. I go back and forth. There's plenty of things. There's plenty of entertainment out there. There's plenty of and as far as video games go, there's just tons. There's tons of video game simulations. As I was saying earlier, I was thinking of the sailboat simulator. I'm just like, damn. Because if I could, man, I'd love to have a sail. Even though I've never used a sailboat in my life, I've used a dinghy. I haven't had the dinghy out in a couple of years, but I used to do that every summer. And the reason why I was just like, either, like I said, get some property or get a sailboat and go around the world. That'd be ideally what I would want to do. And those are the kind of things that make me think about, like, getting into American Truck Simulator that makes me think about exploring and traveling in a relaxed condition. I just turn the music on. The audio or whatever. Oh, great, got no data. Okay, it went in excellent condition. It went no data and then went in excellent condition. I don't know what happened there. So yeah, and nobody chatting right now. So yeah, and I was just like, I like doing that, but then I started thinking, maybe I should get into some sailing simulator. Maybe I should try playing around and see what I can do, but start with a rubber dinghy or something. Do some type of boat simulation of some sort. I thought about doing that, but it's more fun finding treasures and getting into them as opposed to building a game. I like to build communities. I like to build. I love to build the RTS server. I mean, I have fond memories of that. But I don't know where this goes from here. It could be. It could never get as good as it was, and I've realized that for a long, long time. That's a chance. I shouldn't say I've known it for a long, long time. I've known it's possible, but I never really thought it was likely. Because now I'm starting to think it's likely that it'll never get that good again. And the reason why I say that is because I think there's so much stuff out there that people have other interests and developers have other money and people just kind of like focus in on whatever, and they just they're kind of like me in a lot of ways, whether it be procrastinate or find it more interesting to just relax and have fun because they're busy with their lives. I mean, I got two major things that I have to deal with. Number one, my career. Thankfully, I don't have to work overtime. So, steady Monday to Fridays. And number two, my son just went back upstairs again, and we spend a lot of time together. We've been spending more and more time together, as of late as he's getting older, which is really weird because I didn't expect that. The whole COVID thing might have changed that a little bit. I don't know. But he just turned 13. And we do a lot of things together. So yes, he has friends. He's very, very social. So, and he doesn't like school, but he's looking forward to going back to school. So I'm like, or at least to some extent, just so that he can see his friends or something like that. It's tough on kids right now. I can't imagine what my childhood would be like. Mind you, I was more of a loner anyway, so it probably wouldn't have mattered. But he's no loner. He's used to being independent, but he's also he gets the social from his mom, and he gets the more independent side from me. So yeah, but so that's where I'm kind of stuck at, is, realizing that it's sad because, it's the past. And I want something better. Usually it gets better. And that's the weird thing about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know the way railroads are, and I see more rail fans than ever. I've never seen more rail fans in my life than right now. It's so cool. I see them all the time. I don't know if it's just because there's more people, populations are up or whatever, but I see more and more people rail fanning. And I think, and for me, that's cool, because it's nice that there's that community, although it's kind of independent. I mean, they have their Facebook groups. Of course, you have to have Facebook, which I have nothing to do with. But it's nice that they have that, and it's cool because you get to share information. And I'm not much of a social person, but I still communicate with some people or whatever. Drones, I love flying the drones. Can't wait to get the drone out. It looks like we're gonna have good weather for the next 2 days. So, I'm looking forward to that. Charge up the batteries, and even if I don't see trains, I'm just going to be flying. Try to fly as much as I can this weekend. Find some. I don't care if I have to watch ships and do something like that. Well, we'll see. I just want to get the drones up. Now, so there's going to be changes with all this, and talking about trains and talking about other things. This is going to lead to changes in the format of the channel. I'll still be doing what I'm doing right here from time to time. I don't think, as far as American Truck Simulator, I'm going to be broadcasting any more of those, because the way I play it is I like to listen to the music, and I just like to play, and besides, I don't think it's that interest for my channel. As far as my drone footage, I'm going to start sending raw footage, unedited raw footage, no audio. I'm going to start sending those files through. I'm not going to go through it. I'm just going to send the video file over, and then I will go through the video file later on, because that's where I'll take the images from. I'll probably also start doing images, because I can take better high quality images from the drone, but unfortunately I can only take either images or video. I can't do it all at the same time, which kind of sucks, because there's times where I'd like to, but it's just as easy to get an image from the video, except, I mean, this resolution's fine, but it's not a big deal. But if I wanted to go at higher resolutions, such as 2 monitors at work, I can crop out a certain area and I'd be all set. So that's kind of cool. But that's the way I'm going with the format, I think. I just want to get back into... I want to get back into just having fun again and not setting myself up to fail. Whether this leaves the community, I don't know. I can only do so much. If I had more, if I had more spare time, and my son didn't fall asleep while I programmed, or if I wasn't working, or something like that, which, I mean, I'm never going to retire, or so that doesn't seem to equate to anything. Things could change down a few years from now. Who knows? But right now it's kind of up in the air, and until that time, I'll toy around with programming ideas once in a while. I'm going to try not to be so excited, because I don't like having to say, oh yeah, here's another channel update, here's another channel update, here's another, it's like, I am so sick and tired of doing that. It's kind of embarrassing, but that's just the way it is right now. So there was a time where I was hardly putting any videos out, to be quite honest, or any live streams. So anyways, I'll go back in the chat one more time. You guys got any questions? If you're still there, I don't know. No, we got a couple people here. I don't know. Anybody got questions? Got any questions? Shoot them my way. I got a few minutes. Not much more to say about what's going on, though. It is what it is. And from time to time, I'll be on Train Sim, and I'll probably trigger people, but that's fine. Like I said, the community, as far as I'm concerned, is dead. Whether it be this community is not so dead. I still have a core community. My forum is pretty much dead. As far as the train simulation community, or the Run 8 community, or whatever the hell you want to call it, I think that's dead. I don't give a rat's ass how Depot's doing. They can be doing whatever they're doing. They're not reaching out to the broader community. Everybody's in their little groups. There seems to be few people that cross over. Without having an agenda. Okay, I'll say that much. Of the people who are part of these groups, at least the ones I see who are on a regular basis, they seem to be on an agenda. They seem to like to shoot down anybody who's negative about Run 8 and all this other crap. Or not negative, who's critical of Run 8. Make them, say whatever. But anyways, no questions. I'm going to get out of here then. Have a good one, guys. We'll talk to you later.